My name is Ben Kerry. I'm an app developer at Medic based in Nairobi. And in my presentation, I'll be going through the CHT version 4.17 release. So next slide, please. Please, someone share the release notes on the chat. But basically, in this 4.17 release, we have two main improvements. The first being a technical improvement to replace the deprecated request promise native with fetch. So basically, what that means is the request promise native deprecated means it was no longer being supported by the team behind it. It was deprecated in 2020. So it was always in Medic's roadmap to replace that. And after upgrading to Node version 22, we were able now to use the inbuilt fetch, which is now being maintained by the Node team and comes with the added advantage of security updates and better support. So that was a important improvement that was needed. The second thing that changed was a UI UX change, which was adding a password reset page. A bit of background of why that was necessary is in understanding how different projects distribute their password to users, let's say CHWs or CHPs, is you have an administrator creates accounts for the user with a username and password. And then you find in some cases that information is stored in an Excel sheet that is distributed to the supervisors. And then the supervisors can share the Excel sheet with other users. So it creates a security concern whereby if one person exposes that sensitive information or leaks that information, then it means you've leaked the password of every user. So you can imagine an Excel sheet with over 1,000, which is usually the case in most projects. So the idea here was to have require users to change their password the first time they log in, so that if any case the Excel is ever leaked, then the user passwords are not exposed in the wild. So that was the thinking behind it. Next, and in this screen you can see, so basically what we have there is on the left side we have the login, and then the middle is where the user is asked, please change your password, and then once they change their password, they move on to the application as normal. And this only happens when they're logging in for the first time or when their password is changed by the administrator. So let's move on to the next slide and I'll demonstrate that. So here, just to mention, in the first demo, the first user, I'm going to show one who has to change their password because that is the default. We set it by default because we want to encourage best practices. And then secondly, this feature was mainly communicated that it is required on first-time login, but I added there a PS just to make it clear that whenever an admin changes a user password, then the next time they log in, they'll also be required to change a password. So that is the first scenario where I'm going to demonstrate changing the password. The second demonstration will be a user who does not need to change their password, and that is made possible by adding the permission can skip password change, because we had in mind that this feature can be disruptive, and for projects that may not be ready, they have this alternative to skip the password reset as they plan on how to accommodate that change. Next, I'm now going to share my screen and do a quick demonstration.
Right. Andra, can you please grant Ben access?
All right, thank you. So let me know once you can see my screen. Thank you.
Yes.
So here we have two users. We have Ben and we have John. I hadn't created the user, so let's go ahead and do that. So we shall use Ben as the one who needs to change their password. So they are a CHW. They are located there. That is their username. And this is now the password that I have set. And I've added the user. So if I go ahead and log out and try and logging in as Ben, I'll be required to change the password. If for some reason I am unable to change the password, let's say um, I close the tab because that won't work, and then I go back and try to log in again, I'll still be required to change the password. So let's go ahead and do that. So we added some validation whereby you cannot reuse the same password because that would beat the whole purpose of having this feature. So if I change my password as that user, I am able to now proceed and log in into the CHT. So now if I log out as that user and log in, I can now log in with my new password and I won't be required to change my password. Now, the second thing that I mentioned that I want to demonstrate is the situation whereby that user's password is changed by the admin. So now I've logged in as the admin. I go to that user and update their password. So now let's put it as password 3. Okay, so now if I go back and try and log in as the user with the password I had previously set, now this won't work. If I now change with the new password that the admin has given me, I'll be required to now change that password again because it's technically a new password. So this is now password 3. So now here, let's now change it to password 4. Okay, I think, I don't know why that is not working, but yeah, so once the password is now changed, the user will be able to use that password. So now let me go ahead and demonstrate how we can use the permission to disable that feature. And now I'm going to log in as the administrator and create the second user. So the user was John. Oh no, first, before doing that, so now we need to set the permission. So if we now search for the can skip, we can see we can select which of the roles we want to skip that require that feature. So if we enable it for CHWs and submit, we have now updated the permissions for this particular installation. So now I can go ahead and create the user John, who is also a CHW. This is the facility John. So let's go ahead and give them their password. So here we have password 1 and we add the user. Let me now go ahead and log out and try and now log in as that user we've just created. The password we give them was password 1 and we're able to log in without having to reset our password. So that shows the two ways of is how this feature was introduced. Thank you. Back to you, Anthony.
We would like to welcome new community members who have joined us today. So feel welcome, and we hope you can join us in our subsequent roundup calls. But for today, we'll be learning more about a new CHT community organization, which is called Sentinel. So I'll be giving them an opportunity just to share their journey of being part of the CHT community. So I'm not sure who is going to start first. I think it's it's one of their teammates. So handing over to the Sentinel team. Next slide.
Thanks, Anthony. Shashank here. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for the warm welcome, and it was lovely to see the work that's been happening in the community. As a introduction, I'm Shashank from the Sentinel team. I'm based out of India. The rest of the team is based out of Uganda. I'm responsible for understanding. I have experience in the development side, so I bring in the expertise on the development sector, how the grant funding works, how to look at engaging the community and taking the technology forward. And the rest of the team members who are based out of Uganda are in charge for understanding and building more about the tech. So those are the guys you have to pester for questions, and I'm with Nancy on this one. So um, thank you so much for having us here. And as a quick introduction, we've previously worked with Veritas Interactive, where we had looked at designing workflows and building out a CHT prototype. Additionally, as Sentinel members, we have been part of the community for the last 2 years. And one of my colleagues here, you all might be aware of, Samuel. He's very active in the community and he has done a lot of engagement over the forums. So, can we move to the next slide? And I'll hand it off to Sam to give a quick intro and walk us through the experiences from the forum.
Okay, thank you, Shashank. So my name is Samuel Okwalinga. I'm based in Uganda. I'm a software developer with Sentinel Digital. So we first got exposed to CHT around 2023 when we were working on a partnership with another organization, Veritas. We're developing actually a maternal and reproductive health tool for USAID, and that's how we got exposed to CHT. So since then, we took a number of steps to get comfortable working with CHT, did the courses on the academy, and also just tried to understand the documentation. When we got started with CHT, one of the challenges we faced was getting it set up on our operating systems. We're using Apple M1 machines at the time, and we couldn't get some Docker containers running. So we reached out to the community, as you can see in some of the conversations on the screenshots there, and the community was very, very helpful. And since then, actually, CHT is now very stable on M1. Even this recent version, the 4.17, is running fine on M1. So that was a very good thing. We've also found it very helpful to be active with the documentation in case we notice any errors there. We just reach out to the community. Around 2024 also, we got very privileged to become CHT partners, technical partners. If you could move to the next slide, please. And through that partnership, the team was called upon to upgrade the immunization workflows that were worked on by PIH Malawi team. They were still on version 3.112, but then we're able to upgrade them to the version they are currently on, 4.15. But we also tested the same with the most recent version, 4.17, and it all upgraded fine. So that's some of the work we've done as partners with CHT, and we are very excited still moving forward to see how we can contribute a bit towards documentation, contributing towards the CHT example apps, or any other issues on the forum, or the issues on the app itself. So we are very happy to be part of this journey, and we can't wait to move forward. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, Sentinel team, and thank you very much for your contribution. I'm not sure if you have any pending technical questions to the community. This might be a great opportunity for you to ask. Some in the team.
Oh yes. I think for me, the only question is, because there are very many squads that are being set up for different things. I said documentation squad, an SSO squad. So for like the new members who would wish to join some of these squads, are they open if they're already running, or you'd have to wait until another team is set up? Can someone new jump into the squads and contribute? That would be my question.
All right. It's nice to see that you're willing to contribute. I have a response to that, but Ashley, would you like to respond to that?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes, so for the squads that are running documentation, SSO, and other teams that have been set up, if I'm new and I would like to join, what are the steps, be it as a team or as an individual? Are they open, and what would I need to be able to join and contribute?
Wonderful. Excellent question. Everyone is welcome, no matter your technical level. Feel free to join. If you'd like to participate and help assisting in coding, it would be advantageous to do some research and look at the tickets. But every squad has all their notes listed on the invitation. And as well, there's a forum page that we can link to just at the end of here. We're low on time to be able to look at the notes and the tickets that are involved for that squad. But please, 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 everyone is welcome to any squad. And if you're lost, just give a little intro about what your interest is in attending, and we'd love to have you and introduce you to the topic.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, thanks. So Sam, feel free to respond on specific squads post on the forum and you'll be able to be linked.